Welcome to GTA and the first video of a series of training videos where I'll be explaining how to fly with this laser jet. I chose this jet because this is one of the most common combat jets used in this game, and it's also pretty easy to fly. However, this first video I only explain the interior and the exterior parts of the plane. This is important because the next videos where I'll be explaining the actual flying and combat flying, I will be referring to these parts. So let's not waste any more time. This thing that's opened right now is called the canopy. So if I call my character and get in, he will close the canopy and he will turn on the engine automatically. Let's first do the exterior, as we still have daylight now. You can see the engine, the afterburner, and these air brakes. Yeah, of course the engine will make you go faster and the air brakes will make you slow down or go backwards if you're on the ground. Like that, see? Good. Now at the back of the wings, you can see these parts that are moving right now. They're called the ailerons, and they will make your aircraft roll around your own axis. And all the way at the back of the plane, horizontally, you can see these things. Those are called your elevators. They will make you go up or down. Now at the vertical fins at the back, you can see these parts that are moving now. Right there. Those are called the rudders. They will make your aircraft go left or right horizontally. Same thing for the air. Right? Then we also have the missiles without homing, so it won't lock onto anything, and we have the explosive cannon. Right? Those are the most important things, weapons that this jet has. Now let's go in first person. Make sure you're not wearing any helmet that blocks your vision, because you can see the whole interior now with all the measures. All the way in the middle, and then go all the way down, we can see a circle that says vertical speed in 1000 feet per minute. If you can read that, the arrow is pointed towards the left there. And you can see 0.5, 1, 1.5 and on. That's your vertical speed, so that will make you know if you're ascending or descending, so going up or down, in 1000 feet per minute. So if it's at the upside at 0.5, you'll ascend with a speed of 500 feet per minute, at 1 it's 1000 feet per minute, and so on. Same thing for down, right? That's useful because if you're in first person and it's very misty, then you can't see very well. Then it's important that you use this measure so we can actually see or know if you're going down and don't crash into the ground, right? Now above the vertical speed we have the airspeed, but I'm not going to say anything about that anymore because that doesn't really work very well in this game, so don't pay attention to that. But above the airspeed we have two small circles, and the right one there is a half blue and half brown circle. You see that? That's the ADI, or Attitude Director Indicator. It exists of two parts: the inner circle that will shift if you're ascending or descending a little bit too, and the outer circle that will turn with your wings. You can see all the way at the top of the ADI a white arrow that's pointed towards the downside. That's your cockpit. So if you roll your aircraft towards the left, then the ADI, the outer circle, will turn with you, and then the white arrow there will tell you where you are. The ground, the brown part refers to the ground, and the blue part refers to the sky, right? On the left of the ADI you have the altimeter with numbers from 0 to 9. That's your, that measures the altitude in 1000 feet. Now it exists of two arrows. The small, or the short fat arrow is pointing at the altitude in 1000s of feet, and the long thin arrow adds 100s of feet to that. So right now we're about, let's say, 130 feet above sea level. It's not above the ground, it's above sea level. And that's right, 100 and something above sea level, because we are standing on land on the airfield right now. We can see the sea level is a bit lower because we are on land and there is a bit of land mass beneath us. So that's your altimeter. Two important things you have to know is 1000 feet, because everything above 1000 feet will fly a bit faster. If you're flying below 1000 feet, then you fly a bit slower, so you can use that. GTA refers to that as air density, because lower to the ground there is less air, lower to the ground there is more air, so you have more drag, then you go slower. This game programmed it so that you will fly a bit faster over 1000 feet. But it doesn't matter if you fly at 2000 or 8000 feet, you will have the same speed. However, 8000 feet is also an important limit because that's the roof. The roof is the maximum altitude you can fly. In this game, if you exceed 8000 feet, if you go over 8000 feet, the game will push you down until you go back at 8000 feet or lower. So that's the maximum altitude, or the roof, 8000 feet. Remember those two. Above 1000 feet, faster. Above 8000 feet is kind of impossible because the game will push you down. It's maximum altitude. Now look at the panel above the altimeter and the ADI with some numbers and buttons, levers and switches. Unfortunately none of that work. Now on the left of that panel you have these rectangular gauges. I think those are supposed to be pressure gauges, but I'm not sure. It doesn't actually work. Like, it shows you something but it doesn't actually do anything. On the right there we have this green radar that's like pointing green dots right there. That's cool, but it doesn't work either, so that's just cosmetic. But if you can take a look above the radar and to the right of the panel there, you can see something that looks like a compass with a red arrow in the middle, right? That's your HSI, your horizontal situation indicator. That basically just works like a compass, but it's just shown vertically for the pilot. So the pilot doesn't have to look down to know which direction he's flying in. Now we are pointing at east, and if I turn my aircraft, we are pointing at the end there, north, you see. If you look at the map, we are pointing almost exactly at north, so that works really well. Now there's a difference between going north and going north on the HSI, as I like to use in, like, if I fly with a squadron and we're like attacking somebody or some whatever. Then if I say go north, then I mean go here. All the way to the north and in the middle of the map. But if I say go north and HSI, so let's say you're all the way at the right of the map right here with your aircraft, and I say go north, that means that you have to go there, because that's the north in the middle of the map. But if you're here and I say go north of the HSI, that means go north from your position. So that means go that way. But that's not important right now. That's only what I use in my squadron. Now if you take a look at the landing gear lights to the right of the HSI, at the tilt pane there, it says gear down now. That's your landing gear lights. As you can see, they are down, and gear light says gear down, and if I pull my gear up, it will shift to gear up light. So if you're in first person, you will also know if your gear is pulled up or down. Now that's about everything about this aircraft. Now let's take off. I know it's night, but it's still pretty good light here. So I'm gonna take off. There we go. I will get my landing gear inside, and then you will see the landing gear lights is set gear up now. Let me switch it. There we go, gear down, and let's do it again. Gear up, you see? Now first to the exterior. You see the ailerons here? They will make our aircraft roll around their own axis. And with the elevators, it will make us go up or down, like this, the rudders left or right, and then we of course have the engine and the brakes. Now if you hold your brakes long enough, then your engine will be cut off. Just give more power or accelerate, and then your engine will turn on. So if you're braking, brake in tabs like this. You can train yourself to know how long it takes before your engine fails, right? So that's important for you to know. Train yourself in that before you go to the next training video. Now we had the exterior of the plane. If we now go into the interior, you can see the vertical speed there all the way at the bottom again. If I ascend now with 1000 feet per minute, but that's to be used relatively, of course. And if I go down, then it will show that I will be descending. So that works pretty well. Air speedometer, don't watch that again. And then look at the altimeter again. We are now about 2000 feet in the air, 2100, 2200. Let's climb to 3000 so we can see the long thin one. They're at 0 and we are at 3000 feet now. Now look at the ADI. My wings are about perfectly leveled horizontally. My ADI is 2. Now if I turn my left wing towards ground like this, you can see the ADI turn with me, and the white arrow will go all the way at the outer circle with me. Oh yeah, and if I go up, then you see the inner circle of the ADI is shifting a little bit too. It shows more blue, so that means that I'm more going towards the sky. And the inner circle of the ADI shows more brown, then you're going towards the ground, you see? So that's actually very useful if it's very misty. You can literally fly blind with these instruments. It's really useful. And then the compass, or the HSI if you will, you're flying south now, right? And then the landing gear lights, we talked about that. So that's about everything you have to know. So lastly, I show the maximum altitude, so I'll climb to 8,000 feet. So just for yourself, if you want to train, just tell how high we are, so you know how the altimeter works. I'm pretty sure you do. We're now about 7,800 feet, 7,000, no sorry, it was 6,000, right? 7,500, 7,800 and 8,000. See, if I go over, I'm still pulling up, but the game will push me down until I go back to 8,000 feet or lower. You see? That's the maximum altitude. Looks like this. Pretty cool, right? So that's about everything I will go over in this video. The next video will be about the actual flying, and the next videos will be about combat flying. So see ya next time.